What's up everybody, my name is We Got a Bleeder, and in today's video we are doing part 2 of my Aimer7 Kovaak's routine video series. This is Intermediate Beginner. We're going to start with what routines are involved, go on to results, gameplay, and then helpful info. But first, I stream 8:30 p.m. Eastern weeknights, sometimes weekends. Feel free to check me out on Twitch. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. The intermediate routines are as follows. Close, long strafes, Invincible. One wall, 6 targets, small. Thin aiming, long, Invincible. One wall, 9,000 targets. Vertical long strafes. Tile Frenzy, 180. All right, let's move on to our scores. In our Excel sheet, you can see we have all 6 routines and the high score for each week, followed by the percent that we increased from week 4 to week 6. Then at the bottom, we have the percentile that we scored within all of the people performing that routine. So with the close long strafes Invincible, we had a 29% increase in score. We landed in the 72nd percentile of players. One wall, 6 targets small, 11% increase, 84th percentile. Thin aiming, long Invincible, 30%, 74th percentile. One wall, 9,000 targets, 13%, 78th percentile. Vertical long strafes, it's a little different because this one is a carryover from the first 15 days. We had a 15% increase for the final 3 weeks, a 35% increase total. We are in the 90th percentile. Tile Frenzy, 180, 11% increase, 84th percentile. You may be wondering, why did we have such a huge increase over when it came to strafing over click timing? I believe obviously it's because we had so much more room to grow, to get better, and that led to a much larger percentage increase in score. All right, let's move on to the gameplay footage, and you can see my improvements, see my abilities, where we're at. We're not quite at any god level or anything like that, but hopefully one day we will keep trying. And I hope you enjoy the footage. Stick around after for a couple helpful tips that I think may help you with your aim training. All right, let's check out that footage. All right, let's move on to some tips. So in my last video, I mentioned lowering the time scale. If you lower your time scale, I highly recommend that you open up your timer. To do that, just hit the Windows key, type timer, and it'll bring up alarms and clocks. You can set a timer to whatever time you want. I usually do 7 minutes, so that way I can do 3 challenges to round out my 10 minutes. What I normally do, and I mentioned this in the last video, is try to hit a 60% accuracy on whatever event I'm doing. That doesn't work within aiming long Invincible because, as it's mentioned in the guide, you need to be smooth with your movements. And if you try to hit 60%, you're going to go so low in the speed that moving smooth while hitting 60% is going to be counterproductive. So what I did is I moved my time scale to 0.6. I won't go any lower than this because I can't remain smooth because the bot moves too slow. I ended up being about 40% accurate, but I still increased my skill level in this quite drastically. Moving on to the next tip that I have. So you should treat aim training like studying. And I know that sounds terrible, but you need to give it all of your focus. You can't have the TV on. You can't be watching some TV show. If you can study with music on, like that's what I do, you can absolutely aim train with music on. Other than that, I wouldn't do anything else. The aim training should be your main focus. Otherwise, you're not going to get the most out of it. And finally, the stats page. So if you look at your stats, we'll move over to 1 wall, 6 target small. That doesn't look very good. That looks kind of crazy. Yes, I have an upward swoop going here, but still it's kind of crazy. So don't go by this page. Click on month or week, depending on how much time you've been training, maybe even day. But I like to stick with week. And this will average your scores per the day or per the week. And then you can kind of see where you're really at. This is, I mean, you're not going to be at your absolute best all the time. You're not going to be at your absolute worst. You're probably most likely going to be playing average. So you want to know what your average ability is and how your average ability is increasing. And that's my final tip for this video. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, comment, let me know if you liked the game footage. Check out my Twitch /WeGotABleeder. Hope this was helpful. Have a good one, guys. See ya.